Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, the previous video I did was about Angela Rayner, and I'm afraid this one is too, but it's only in passing because it's more Keir Starmer and what Keir Starmer is planning to do and how it's really affecting and annoying Angela Rayner. He is attempting a change of the rules, basically, within the Labour Party that would stop leftists like Rayner, like Corbyn, and not to forget, of course, that Rayner was a very big fan of Corbyn, from ever becoming leader of the party. It would in effect, that is to say, bury the left from ever having power within the party again. He's trying to, I suppose, centralise, centralise the party, trying to remove the extremists. Now, we saw this happen back in the 80s when Labour were having major struggles with the far left, and you had the very extreme leftists there, the likes of Derek Hatton in Liverpool and all that, pushing these frankly unelectable policies, which is why, of course, Margaret Thatcher was so successful throughout that entire decade. People were terrified, effectively, of the Labour Party and what it stood for at the time. But it seems that last night, on Saturday night, the plans were kind of leaked or revealed surreptitiously. Like, who leaked them? Who knows? It could even been a self-leaking in order to get this out there and have it become known within the mainstream media. But they want to do this change in how the deputy leader is elected. At the moment, it all goes to conference, and they elect at conference. Now, critics are saying that if you strip the sort of rank and file members of the Labour Party of their, I suppose, role in picking the next Labour leader and deputy, then outliers like Angela Rayner, extremists like Angela Rayner, wouldn't get selected because the MPs themselves would be too scared of having a far left leader that would frighten the voters. That's the thinking behind this. And it's his way of trying to maintain, first of all, his own personal power, because if he can get rid of Angela Rayner, that'll help him, knowing that she will never succeed him. But also, of course, it would mean that going forward, there'd never be that level of extremism like Corbyn again that would frighten voters away. And so it's an attempt to make and keep Labour as a votable option in the minds of the population. And I think it would possibly work. People are very, very scared of extremism, both sides. Let's face it, extremism is never good. You do need to be left or right. Being a centrist means you're sitting on the fence on everything. And you can't make up your mind, or you're too busy worrying about what one half thinks to do it, or the other half thinks to do it, and so ultimately nothing gets done. So you do need to be either left or right, but you need to be neither too left nor too right. You have to have, how can we put it, either a centrist left or a centrist right. That's basically where you need. And we see this with the Tories now, who are moving completely centrist in everything, moving right across to the left. They're no longer the Tory party. And that, of course, has given rise to Reform, which is the new Tory party. It's the Tory party for, Tories. Because they don't want to vote for this centrist, unworthy party that isn't going to achieve anything. But this plan of his has been sort of, like I say, it's leaked or announced, whichever way round it goes. And it seems to come from a guy called... well, I don't know if it's a man or a woman. It's one of those names that can be either. Morgan McSweeney is the name. He was a campaign manager for the general election, and this individual who's now masterminding this rule change to try and get this there to keep the Labour Party in a position where they are continually electable, rather than having these frightening figures from the extreme left with their to be honest, sometimes madcap ideas, sometimes dangerous policies, dangerous to the economy, but dangerous also to the security of the nation. And certainly some of the things that they want to push would lead us back to the 70s. Angela Rayner, for example, wants to make and strengthen the unions and go the unions back till they had the power of the 70s, when you never got a week without somebody being on strike, where you had blackouts, rolling blackouts across the country, where nothing was being built, and at the same time the economy crashed, and they had to go cap in hand begging to the IMF in order to have any kind of assistance to stop the entire country defaulting. That in turn, of course, leads to 1978's Winter of Discontent, and then obviously in May, the rise of Margaret and the Conservatives, who ruled for a surprisingly long time, from 1979 all the way through to 1997. I know, stunning, isn't it, to have a Tory party run that long, but simply, mainly, because the Labour Party was so frighteningly bad to the voters. You know, it's not going to change, and this is the problem. It's not going to change while you still have the likes of the Corbynista Brigade currently. It'll be someone else soon afterwards at that, but currently you've got this Corbynista Brigade, headed really, and figureheaded at least, by Angela Rayner, with her, like I say, her extreme left positions. But they want to change. They want to change this rule. It's been in place for quite some time, to allow the decision to be made by the Parliamentary Labour Party, not at conference by the rank and file. And I think going forward, it's a wise idea. I think it's going to be controversial within the party. I think he's going to struggle to get it through. But if he does, I think it would remove the threat to him personally of being booted out and having Angela Rayner put in. Because at the moment, if he goes, Angela, as the direct descendant, the VP, as it were, as the the deputy leader, she would by default take over and become the Prime Minister. And the Parliamentary Labour Party are quite terrified of that. So I think the Parliamentary Party would go for it, but whether the members in the rank and file, in and out, all up and down the country, would want it is another matter. I think a lot of them would, simply because they're aware of how dangerous some of these extremists could be. So it's going to be a story that's going to run and run. But I do hope that they do change, simply because I would be terrified for the future of this country if someone like Angela Rayner, or Angela Rayner herself, was in charge. It would be chaos. Anyway, there we go. I thought that was interesting. I think it has potential. Let me know what you think, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.